What is up, everybody, and welcome to a brand new video where you get the most recent and most crazy Russian news right here from a Russian guy himself. So welcome to the channel and make sure to hit the like button and the subscribe button. And today we're going to start off with an interesting topic, and as you read from the thumbnail and the title of the video, alcohol factories are on fire in Russia. What, was somebody smoking once again beside an alcohol factory, threw a cigarette butt somewhere, and the whole thing exploded? Well, no. Residents of Tula and Tambov regions have woken up in the middle of the night from hearing huge explosions right beside their houses. Here's a little video of that. Three distilleries in the region were attacked by Ukrainian drones, and interestingly enough, there wasn't even any alarms or sirens going around the region. So it seems like the Russian anti-missile, anti-drone system is not working well, because they just flew in, destroyed the alcohol factories, and finish their job. And you might be wondering, what is the reasoning of destroying alcohol plants? Is it to stop the Russian drinking? Is it a way to make the Russian nation be less of alcoholics? No, that is not the reason. The major reason is because those factories actually not only produced alcohol, but they also produced fuel and explosives for the needs of the Russian military. And what is interesting the most is all of that was done in the middle of the night. So there were no workers there, no nothing, and nobody actually got hurt, which is actually very nice that it was done in the middle of the night. Obviously, am I happy that there are explosions in my country? No, but there's a full-on ongoing war inside of Russia and inside of Ukraine. So that's what happens. But I'm just glad that nobody got hurt, and that was really done the right way. And you know what's interesting? The interesting thing is, you guys know that Russians still travel around the world. I see a lot of Russian tourists hanging around Thailand as well. But I don't think it's going to be for very long, because Russia is such a genius country with such genius government officials. They just decide on creating new laws every single day. And on today's Mind, they got a genius idea. How could we get more money out of our citizens? Well, you know what? We're going to start taxing them on actually flying abroad. Oh my God, you know what? The flights are going up 100%. Like the prices are raising every single day because Russia can't service their airplanes. They are running out of airplanes. They're actually asking Kazakhstan right now for their air companies to do domestic flights because they just don't have enough flight-worthy airplanes right now. And the Russian Union of Travel Industry actually said, you know what, we should start taxing them so we could use that money in the future to help our citizens in emergency situations abroad. I'm just thinking, all right, Russians already pay thousands and thousands and thousands of millions of dollars in tax. And you're thinking that you should tax people on actually having the freedom of travel. Well, you know what? There is no freedom in Russia. So, you know what? Let's take some more freedoms away from you. Freedom of travel. You want to travel? You got to pay. And not only for the tickets and hotel, but also to leave the country. We haven't talked about North Korea in about 5 minutes, so we should change that a little bit. Now, as you guys know, Vladimir Putin about 4 months back went to North Korea and signed some sort of a treaty with Kim Jong-un, the rocket man himself, about cooperating together in military matters. And as we know, Vladimir Putin has bought 12,000 combat slaves from North Korea. And we know that those North Koreans are not going to be going back to North Korea. And I'm not saying just because they're going to get killed or anything like that. I'm saying it because they will see and taste a little bit more freedom and they will be just a huge danger to the regime. So that was a one-way flight ticket for them. But we got new footage of North Korean soldiers in a military unit in Sergeyevka in Primorsky Krai. You could see the photos right here. Very interesting. You could see those guys are actually not that tall, and the uniform looks huge on them. Very, very big uniform, because I don't think Russians even make uniforms so small. So it looks just a bit weird. They look like they stole their father's uniform when they were a kid and are playing a little bit of dress up. Yeah, this is how it looks like. And those photos are made by the Russian military, and obviously they pose them out, which is probably really illegal, but everybody is just so interested in the North Koreans in Russia who are actually being prepared on getting deployed. And those North Koreans are supposedly the elite of the elite. Supposedly they are the war machines, one of the best elite infantry in North Korea that have been doing some really tough training, as you could see in this photo right here. They're all looking like they're from a Bruce Lee movie. They all came in ships from Pyongyang to Vladivostok, and they're just preparing to fight. And you know what's really interesting? To make this to be, this could stir up a lot of questions around the world, which it is already doing. But Russians thought it's a genius idea to play around all of this. And you might be wondering, how could you play around having 12,000 North Korean soldiers, Ivan? Are you smoking something hard again? Well, no. Vladimir Putin got a genius idea on how to disguise those soldiers. And you might be wondering how, but you know what? It's time for me to tell you. The South Korean intelligence is confident that the soldiers were given Russian documents to disguise them as residents of Yakutia and Buryatia. So basically, what is happening right here is they get those Russian documents, so now they're supposedly Russian citizens on paper. So if they're going to be fighting inside of Ukraine, which they will probably will, guess what? If they are taken in by the Ukrainian military, they will have Russian passport, which means there's no North Koreans in Ukraine, no North Korea in Russia. It is just Russian citizens that became Russian citizens like yesterday. So trust me, guys, those are not North Koreans. They're actually Russians since yesterday or an hour ago, something like that. Trust me, bro. I swear, they're Russians. I mean, look, literally, some Russian soldiers hanging around the place. And then at the same time, a lot of people might be asking this question, Ivan, why wouldn't they just mobilize Russian people? Why would you take North Koreans? Like, what's the point? They're not going to be doing any good fighting in Ukraine because they don't speak Russian or Ukrainian. So what's the point of that? Well, the point is actually very simple. The Russian government does not want to mobilize any more people. You mean what? How? What? What? They care about the citizens now, so they use other countries' soldiers? No, because not a lot of people want to go sign for contract work right now at the moment. And to do mobilization, Russia will have to mobilize people from Moscow and St. Petersburg. And if they do such a thing, most of Russia will get really angry because from the Russian news, everything is going according to plan. Like, nobody knows what the plan is, but everything is going according the plan. So if he does start a mobilization, you could imagine that people will have nothing to lose because either they go and fight and die, or either they start fighting for their own lives and freedom inside of Russia. And guess what? Somebody up there in the Kremlin is scared of that and afraid, because when you will have millions of people storming Kremlin, you know you are pretty much screwed. Like, it won't change. Like, nobody will be able to help you. It will be just millions of people doing it. So just get some North Koreans, and maybe he will get even more of them, but we will have to see. But I'm 99% sure if there's going to be another wave of mobilization in Russia, that will really screw up the Kremlin regime, which I will be more than glad to watch, because maybe that will change Russia into a democratic and free country. That would be very, very nice. And obviously, the head of North Korean UN delegation says that we're not sending our soldiers to fight in Ukraine. Those are just big rumors. North Korea's UN envoy Kim Song said the rumors were aimed at tarnishing the DPRK's image and undermining the legitimate friendly relations between the countries. You know what? Yeah, it's not going to be North Koreans by the time they hit Ukraine. It's going to be Russian citizens, like I said, because they will have Russian papers. Obviously, those soldiers are not going to be making any money, and all of that money is going to be sent to big man Kim Jong-un so he can buy himself a few more rockets. Now, a bit of this story about the Russian economy, which is pretty much screwed up already. And you know how I know this? It's because I still have, if you guys did not know, an apartment in Moscow that I am trying to sell for a very long time. And I've always wondered, why the heck is nobody buying my apartment? I'm watching all of those Americans and Canadians and Russia praising how amazing the economy and everything else is in Russia, but nobody's buying my apartment in Moscow. What's going on? Maybe my apartment is jinxed. Maybe everyone is just buying every single other apartment, but not mine. But then I saw some news and it made a lot of sense to me. Sberbank, which is the Russian main bank, will increase rates on market mortgages by 3% from October 22nd, which is today. The minimum rate on loans for housing under construction will be 24.9%. And for finished housing, 24.6%. Base rates. Those are the base rates. You're not getting anything lower than that. Excluding discounts will increase to 27.2 and 27.5 respectively, the bank's website reports. Can you imagine getting a mortgage for a house for 30 years paying 27.5% interest rates? Now, all of you guys who complain about the United States saying that the economy is screwed, trust me, guys, you're living in heaven. Tell me in the comment section below, please, what is your mortgage rates from whatever country you are? It will be really interesting and fascinating because I read every single comment. But yeah, you like, there's no point of buying properties in Russia because you're going to be screwed. 27.5% is unbelievable. You're going to be overpaying the original price by double or triple by the end of the 30-year period. It's crazy. Basically, I got an answer why nobody wants to buy my unfinished apartment. Because nobody wants to go in that big of a debt. So most Russians will probably end up just renting apartments because it seems like it's a better deal, although they're very expensive to rent compared to the Russian salaries. So I don't know what's going to happen, but it is really tough times happening inside of Russia right now. I wanted to end this video on something interesting. I don't know what this is called, but it's like when you run around with a fake horse or you dress up as a furry, I don't know what it's called, and I'm sorry if I'm offending somebody, but Russian schools have started preventive talks about the dangers of dressing up like an animal and pretending to be one. Imagine you're a kid and you pretend to be like a wolf or a tiger. What's wrong with that? In educational institutions all over Russia, school children and their parents are told about the negative influence of this subculture. The talks are conducted by the teachers themselves, invited psychologists, or juvenile inspectors. Students are given thematic brochures, shown the presentations, and asked to answer question, what is being a furry? Is it dangerous? And why can't you eat animal feed? Minors are also reminded of the actions for which they can be held administratively liable. And yes, guys, in Russia, you can get an administrative offense if you pretend to be an animal on the street. So if you dress up like a wolf or a dog and start barking around the place, police can take you in and fine you for being a furry. They're saying that it's not just a hobby, it is a potential threat to the health and safety of our children, says a school. I mean, like, come on, are you out of your mind? Like, you know, it's interesting. A lot of people don't understand why people in Russia don't look at the global conflicts and the conflicts that Russia is in right now, because the Russian government sprinkles bullcrap at them. Like, okay, so what are we going to be talking about? We're going to be banning kids dressing up as wolves and dogs and make it an administrative offense because that is coming out of the evil West. And if your child dresses up as a dog, he's gonna become LGBTQ. I mean, like, come on, are you actually out of your mind? How does this got anything in common? Why can't kids just have a fun time? Like, when I was a kid, I pretended to be a lion, but now everybody in Russia is making a big deal out of it. Holy smokes. What world are we living in right now? If somebody wants to pretend like a wolf, let them be. If they want to pretend to be a goat or something, let them be. Whatever. Who cares? But they're making a huge deal out of it so that they don't have to be talking about the situation inside of Ukraine and inside of Russia. Because the Russian economy is crumbling, everything is crumbling. And you know what's funny? I wonder if they're going to be banning the studies about the ancient Egyptian history, because if you look at this photo right here, this could be something that you could really fine Egypt for. I mean, like, come on, what is this? Guy dressing up like a cat or a dog? What are you doing, Egyptians? Ancient Egyptians? Are you out of your mind? You're breaking some Russian laws right now. Okay, you know what? I couldn't leave this one out. Russian state TV reports that skinny jeans are the path of the LGBT. Let's check out this little video right here.
The start of the collapse of a great country started from all of this. From jazz, from style. What is style? What is skinny jeans? It is some sort of straight road to LGBT.
You know what? Straight away I got this image in my head that Shaman, the Russian propagandist singer, definitely got stabbed in the back on national Russian television by this lady right here. Because if we look at the photo right here, we could see that Shaman really likes skinny jeans and skinny trousers. And my question is, why aren't the Russian FSB looking at this and seeing the path that Shaman is taking? Because from the Russian ideology, I'm guessing right now, and by this lady, we could see that he's definitely going on the path of LGBT. But I mean, all right, so why is he singing if you're like, what are you even saying? Like, what the heck? This doesn't make sense. Those people in Russia are absolutely crazy, out of their mind, just blatantly stupid and disgusting. I don't even know what to say about them. They're just crazy, absolutely crazy lunatics out of their minds. And I just find it unbelievable and scary. But yes, as we can see, we got to be careful. And if you see somebody wearing skinny jeans, you guys know what path that guy is taking. Like Shaman. Whatever that lady meant. Alright guys, this will be it for today's video. I hope you found this video very informative. And if you did, I would really appreciate if you could hit the like button and subscribe to the channel and comment, because I actually read every single comment. If you guys enjoy better car content, you could also check out my second channel. The links are going to be in the description, or you can type in Sanctioned Drive on YouTube and see one of the best car content out there in the world. Thank you very much for watching this video. I hope that you guys will stay safe, and I will see you guys in the next video.